No corte vermelho, atleta do Equador.
Ytalo Perea from Ecuador beat Taborda and Keene to get here tonight.
No corte azul, atleta dos Estados Unidos.
And Dominic Breazeale beat Perea, Silva, and Breazeale from the United States. Two big men making their way to fight each other for supreme dominance here in this tournament. Referee Daniel McFarlane from England will be the one charged with keeping a law and order in this ring. Ribi Gallagher, Abdurrahim Del Puerto, and Poggi counting the punches at ringside. So we are all set. Dominic Breazeale from the United States, 26 years old. He took first place at the USA National Championships this year. Only been boxing for a few years, came from a different discipline, the sport of football, and has come quite a ways to get here tonight. He's already earned his spot to London, as has Ytalo Perea from Ecuador, 19 years old. He took second place at the AIBA Junior World Championships in Armenia back in 2009. He took gold at the 2011 Pan American Games in Guadalajara and took gold at the 2012 Independence Cup. Yesterday, he had a formidable opponent in front of him in Simon Keene from Canada, and in perhaps the punch and knockout of the event, stopped him after being down on the scorecards in 2 rounds. Can he do the same, or will Breazeale be able to exert his will, his power over Perea? We will find out. Both boxers fit and game. Breazeale boxing in the orthodox stance. So is Perea. Eruptive violence yesterday in the semifinals by Perea as he dropped Keene and had the entire auditorium in awe. It was a blistering left hook to the head. First gave Keene a standing 8 count, and then second finished him. Breazeale not going to be that easy to move, or will he, as Breazeale uses his jab effectively, staying at a distance. He needs to keep that right hand up, because he must know by now that Perea has that monster left hook. There's the jab by Breazeale. Good work with that jab. Dominic Breazeale needs to stay behind the stick and use it both defensively and offensively, setting up a big right hand, but he needs to keep that right hand high. He needs to draw it back as soon as he launches it, because that big left hook by Perea is always lurking in the shadows. An impregnable fortress is what Dominic Breazeale needs to be right now. There'll be one more boxer also in this weight class going to London. He will be whoever lost to the winner here tonight. And when I say lost, we mean yesterday in the semifinals. There's that left hook by Perea. He knew it was coming. Counter right by Breazeale, followed up by a good stiff left jab and another. Good work behind the jab by Breazeale. 50 seconds to go here in round number 1. This is Castle Chalice calling the action from ringside here at the Maracanazinho Gymnasium in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Good spatial awareness. Breazeale keeping his distance. Perea is going to need to get inside the long-armed Breazeale if he wants to get some work done here tonight. He's standing on the outside. A laconic force. He throws a left-hand jab. There's that left hook over the right hand of Breazeale. Breazeale needs to be careful. There it is again. A left uppercut wildly thrown by Perea. Now Breazeale starting to push him. Perea with an interesting look, an irradiating spirit is Perea. And will we see these two bulky figures collide in a cataclysmic clash? 3-2, Dominic Breazeale after one round. Breazeale trying to better the hat trick that Michael Hunter scored in the last round, the last contest, by getting a gold for the 4th consecutive time for the Americans here tonight. It would be quite an impressive feat if he can do it. Will Perea be able to prevent that? Here's a look at the action from the last round as the big Breazeale tries to blast his way through that high defense, and Perea looks pretty comfortable. Nice defense by Breazeale as well. There's a nice left hook. Good combination punching by Breazeale. And Breazeale comes right out of the gate using that jab, triples it up and throws a right hand. That's exactly what he wants to do. Doesn't have to feel right. Just trust his instincts, trust his coaches. Use the jab, follow up with a big right hand. It will set him free. There's a left downstairs by Perea. Perea perhaps trying to draw down the right hand of Breazeale to set him up for that big left hook to the head. Breazeale not so easily fooled. Stiff left jab by Breazeale, continuing to work behind it. Perea hasn't yet gotten inside with any sort of consistent manner that will lead us to believe that he's going to be able to penetrate the long arms of Breazeale. Caution to Breazeale. Boxing resumes just over 2 minutes here in round number 2. Left hook by Perea. When it lands, it thuds. You can hear it from way up in the rafters. There's a left hook. Good body movement by Breazeale to slip that one. If he had been standing upright, it may have landed that left hand. And a right to the body by Breazeale, and the referee cautions Perea to keep his head up. Chopping right hand by Breazeale. Rips one to the body. Breazeale using that jab again. Left baby uppercut by Perea. And a big left hand. There's that left uppercut. Breazeale needs to keep that right hand higher. He needs to. Simon Keene, just asked Simon Keene yesterday what happens when you don't keep that right hand up when you're in there with Perea. And now there's that defense again. It looks like Perea is trying to count on that left hook. It may be his biggest weapon, and he's looking to lure Breazeale in. He needs to get Breazeale to drop that right hand, and in order to do that, he needs to get Breazeale to throw that right hand. So he's going into that high-guarded defense is Perea, and giving Breazeale an opportunity to land that right. And as soon as he does it, he's going to try and time him. Perea will try and time that right hand by Breazeale and catch him with an overhand left, as he did Keene. So far, that's what he's got. He's throwing that left hand. Will Breazeale fall for it? Will he get caught? There it is again, a left hook by Perea. He launches it with authority. And now Breazeale has Perea up against the corner. Perea circles out. 20 seconds left. Strong, stiff jab by Breazeale. As long as Breazeale keeps working behind the jab, he's in a good place. Exhaustless energy by Dominic Breazeale. And the referee exhorts them both to box. Burly strength by Ytalo Perea. And that is it. This time Perea takes a 6-5 round, thereby evening this contest at 8-8. So this will be coming down to the third round, folks. It cannot get closer. The super heavyweight contest. Both men already earned their tickets to London. This is for bragging rights. This is to leave a stamp of approval on one's opponent so that when they meet again in London, the pain may have faded, but the memory will not. These men are looking to stop one another in the third round. Neither wants this to go the distance. And Breazeale once again comes out in this round using that jab, working behind the jab. It's his most effective weapon thus far. Perea, high guard, standing right in front of Breazeale, not even giving him too much upper body movement, except for when he gets ready to launch that left hook. There it is. Time and again, Perea will use that left hook as soon as Breazeale throws that right hand. If Breazeale were to just keep that right hand up and use his jab, he would most certainly be able to skate to victory, but that's not his style. He wants to end this too, and for that he needs to use his big right hand. Opening himself up, making himself vulnerable with detrimental result possibilities. Some efficacious power by Ytalo Perea. Seen yesterday in the third round, it was just like this against Simon Keane from Canada when he landed that big left hook that you just saw him throw right there on the chin of Breazeale. He's giving up a number of inches in height is Perea, a number of inches in a reach. He needs to get inside, and Breazeale is just forcing the action. A monster of Herculean proportions. Dominic Breazeale continues to exert his will with heroic fortitude. But Perea, a ferocious foe who can end this in one punch. That big left hook, he used it to clean up the Pan American Games in 2011. And he's trying to use it here to clean up the AIBA American Continental qualifying event here in Rio de Janeiro. Will he do it? There's 1 minute left. Breazeale continuing to stalk his man. Perhaps that left hook of Perea with diminished efficacy now. He's pulled that trick out of his book of magic one too many times. Breazeale not wanting to fall for it. And there it is, infighting here with just over 30 seconds to go. Perea holding on. Breazeale, hands up, good defense, using that jab, throwing out the right, being careful. There's that left hook by Perea. They say don't hook with a hooker, and so far, Breazeale has not fallen for it, hasn't quite thrown any of his own hooks. Better yet, for him, his game plan has been working. Just so big in there. He's overpowering most of the people he's faced. And Dominic Breazeale, with just a few years of boxing experience, handing it to Ytalo Perea. They went into this round all tied up at 8. Breazeale goes to his corner with his hands raised in victory. Has he done enough? We shall see. Both boxers have their arms raised. Only one gets the victory. Wow. With a 6-2 round, Perea pulls out a victory over Breazeale, and he gets a victory 14-10. Congratulations to Ytalo Perea. He is the gold medalist of this super heavyweight division. And Gerardo Bisbal de Puerto Rico gets one of the bronzes. The other bronze going to Simon Keane from Canada. Dr. Wu, the president of AIBA, handling the medal duties right there. Jorge Bichada, the general manager of the Brazilian Olympic Committee, handing out the flowers to the bronze medalists. And the silver medal goes to the American, Dominic Breazeale. Again, the medal placed around his neck by none other than the man that made this all possible, the president of AIBA, Dr. Wu. And the gold medal to none other than the Ecuadorian super heavyweight, Ytalo Perea. Well deserved. He is just cleaning up shop here with all of his recent victories, and he is a man to be reckoned with in London. There they are, folks. The super heavyweights, you'll be seeing them in London. Take a good look. Remember their faces, remember their names. Remember this event you watched here live in Rio de Janeiro. It's been a great week of boxing for sure. And there's a list of the medals. While boxing's lexicon is spoken and written by a host of characters, from publicists to pressmen, suits and spongemen, and those of us here in the commentary booth. Its history is scripted in the long run by the boxers themselves. So, until London, and on behalf of AIBA, the Brazilian Boxing Federation, and all those that have made this event possible, remember, it's not the red corner or the blue corner, it's Castle's corner. Good night.